The deadlift is one of the most natural movements to the human being since it involves picking up something off the ground, which is something we've been doing since the beginning of time. It's also one of the best compound exercises you can perform since it targets so many muscle groups in a single movement. But with the potential of all these benefits also comes a high risk, and many people get injured or experience pain from the deadlift, mainly because they are doing it with poor form. In this video, we're going to talk about the most common mistakes that people make with a deadlift and how to fix them. But before we get into the mistakes and the fixes, let's take a ground up approach to setting up the deadlift so you know what a good deadlift looks like. So the first thing that's connected to the ground is your feet or your footwear. And what you typically see people wearing is some sort of weightlifting shoe, a running shoe or basketball shoe, some sort of flats like Chuck Taylors, or just wearing their socks. A basketball shoe or a running shoe has a cushion to reduce the force of impact. This is the opposite of what we want when we're trying to produce force to lift a heavy weight. My recommendation is to wear some sort of flats or shoes with a very minimal sole meant for lifting. And this is better than wearing socks because they have a grip that's going to help you press off the ground. Another thing you may notice is that I'm wearing long pants, and it's not only because my calves don't grow, but it's also because I want to avoid scraping my shins with the bar when performing the deadlift. So you want to wear high socks, some sort of long pants or sweatpants, or some sort of shin guard to protect your shins. So the next thing we want to talk about is foot placement to the bar. You want to put the bar over the midfoot, and you want to have your toes slightly pointed out. You want to avoid having the bar too close to your shin because this will take away your leverage and you will definitely scrape your shins. And you don't want it too far ahead over your toes because it can put a lot of pressure on your lower back. Having the bar over midfoot with your toes slightly pointed out is the ideal starting position. Now let's talk about the width of your foot and hand positioning. You want your feet right below your hips and you want your arms to come down at shoulder width apart. Once you have the bar over midfoot and you have the correct foot and hand width position, all you want to do is bend over and grab the bar. Now this next movement is very important for getting into the right position. All you want to do is bring your shins to the bar while raising your chest up. This should naturally put your body in the right position and put your hips at the correct height. From here, you want to keep that alignment from your head, back, and hips while lifting the weight up and driving your hips forward. So one thing that's often overlooked is using your breath in order to stay tight and safe in this position. So you want to breathe in as you drive your shins forward and bring your chest up, and you want to hold. And you want to breathe in to your stomach, your lower back, and around your core. And you want to hold the breath there and stay tight as you lift the weight up. You want to hold your breath until you bring the weight back down and then exhale. So some of the biggest alignment mistakes that I see when people are setting up for the deadlift is over rounding their back. And this can be very dangerous for your spine and your back musculature and can lead to injury. The other common mistake is overarching their back and looking way up in the sky. So one drill that you can do to ingrain this straight alignment in your deadlift is to use a broomstick or any other stick that's straight and place it along your head, upper back, lower back, and your hips. So the goal is to maintain contact with all these points to the stick while going through the hip hinge or deadlift movement pattern. So as you do this, you may feel like you have to make adjustments. You may feel like your lower back is hyperextended or your upper back is over-rounded or maybe your head is not in the right position. So the benefit of this is that you can feel the broomstick on your body and you can adjust your body until you can feel you're in the correct alignment. Another important key to keeping your upper back straight is to retract your scapula and bring your arms down as you set up for the deadlift. Maintaining this position will also keep you in a tight, strong position as you go to lift the weight off the ground. Next is dropping their hips way too low, almost like they're trying to squat the deadlift, and you will quickly find out that you have no strength or leverage from here. Another big mistake is letting your hips shoot up before the actual pull, and this puts a ton of strain on your lower back. The main thing to remember is that you're already in a good position if you followed the correct setup. Having the bar over midfoot, bringing your shins forward until they touch the bar, and bringing your chest up. So a couple helpful cues to remember is that you want to maintain this alignment as you pull the bar off the floor, and you want to focus on driving your hips forward as soon as possible. So as soon as the bar passes or clears mid-shin, you want to be thinking about driving your hips forward. Another big mistake a lot of lifters make with the deadlift is turning it into an ego lift and not really understanding the difference between what you should lift and what you can lift. Just because you can lift a heavy weight doesn't mean that you should. You should always choose a weight that's going to allow you to perform this exercise with good form. It's going to allow you to progress over time. One of the fastest ways to get injured is to always try to pull more and more weight, sometimes before your body is even prepared to do so. So make these adjustments, practice the setup and the drills that we discussed, and your muscle and strength gains from the deadlift are soon to follow.